This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview. Joining us today is Dennis Edmonds, the CEO of Kazera Global. Thank you very much for your time. Dennis, been a few updates from the company since we last spoke, but first of all, how are you doing?
Great, thank you, Mark. Good to be back.
Good. No, it's very good. It's very good. So, I mean, we'll talk a lot, I think, about the heavy mineral sands. I know that's we might call it the flagship project, and that very important nuclear regulator issue has now been sorted. But of course, you've had other news. You began processing the diamonds at Deep Blue Minerals. You strengthened your board as well with the appointment of Dr. John Wardle as chairman, and you also secured some funding as well, loan facilities, so non-dilutive funding there. So just on those bits of news generally, I mean, it's a fair bit has happened in the operational update, and you said you were feeling pretty good, I think, when we started recording this interview today. So yeah, the progress has been made. You're pretty happy with how things are looking.
Mark, it's been a long slog. We've had a lot of issues to sort out. We've had a lot of government red tape that has had to be negotiated. And it's absolutely brilliant to be in a position now where we're not dependent on other people. The nuclear regulator was the final thing. They've done a very professional job, which they have to do. But it's taken time. And in the meantime, we've not been able to operate. So having that sorted out is just absolutely fantastic. Having John coming onto the board is brilliant. He's got, I mean, anybody who does a bit of research into him, he's got a fantastic background of making companies very successful. He's got some great connections, and I would hope that we will see some really interesting projects coming through from it. And then the loan facility, absolutely the right time. The board felt strongly that diluting shareholders just before we go into cash flow production didn't make sense, and so a loan to bridge us over that period was by far the best way to make sure we got to where we needed to get. Got us into a position where we could do the deal with Tectonic, which was a very good deal for Kazera in terms of increasing our stake in both our South African assets. Yeah, absolutely the right way to go. So we're very pleased to have that, and very pleased to have had the support of both John Wardle and Richard Jennings.
Excellent. Good. Well, thank you, Dennis. But of course, the big news, and I know your favorite subject is the heavy mineral sands. I think I remember when we spoke a couple of years ago in London, the first time we did an interview, and we got a big overview of everything that the company was involved in. And you did say at the time that the real profits are here. I know you wanted it sooner than it's happened. It was, I think maybe it can always be too optimistic but optimism is a good thing. But mining does punish optimism. But I mean, you're here now. You've got that nuclear regulator situation sorted, and you plan to commence mining immediately. So I mean, can you start immediately? Is everything ready to go?
Yeah. So what we've got at the moment is all the machinery is built. It's on site. It's ready to go. The nuclear regulators part, as you say, has been completed. Where we were going back to that interview all those years ago, we were having some political issues with Alex Core. Those have been resolved. Alex Core has been incredibly supportive. So we now have a very big and substantial facility on the edge of the main road, which is owned by Alex Core. Not the main road. The ground is owned by Alex Core. So we have a big facility there where we can basically handle all our staff. We've got accommodation for staff. We've got a sick bay. We've got X-ray rooms. We've got screening for the radioactivity. We can deliver our heavy mineral sands to that area. Customers coming in will drive off the main road, probably, 150 meters, and get their trucks loaded and drive off again. So they don't have to go off the main road, don't have to go on the mine. So the situation is incredibly advanced compared to where we were. Never a position that I thought we'd ever get to in terms of how well organized it now is, and the support we have from Alex, as I say, and the local community has been absolutely brilliant. I mean, this project is going to be transformational for the local community, and it's great to have their support to making it happen. In terms of us actually getting into production, yeah, the nuclear regulator has signed off. That there is now subject to a final inspection, which will take place, we're hoping, within the next week or so. And then we're ready to go. And that's just really a question of making sure that the signs we said we were going to put up have been put up and that sort of thing. So it's not a block, it's just a process.
Okay. And that bridging loan, as you described it there, will see you over through that process where you can be cash generative.
Yeah. So the first step, once we are in production, is to then be able to get samples out to various potential customers. And there are a lot of different ways of doing that. We have discussions going on at the moment with a customer who would be prepared to, or a couple of customers who would be prepared to take it at the gate pretty much as it is. There are other customers who would prefer us to separate it out further. There are other customers who prefer to take it and separate it themselves in South Africa and then move it on. So there's lots of different ways of managing that. And it's a question of sitting down and working out which one is going to firstly give us cash fastest. And then secondly, which one is going to give us the most cash.
Yeah. Okay.
Those are the two considerations.
So, okay. So you're looking to basically start production, get that stockpile in place, ready for when you've got those agreements in place with potential off-takers, which you're working on at the moment. Is there a possibility as well, Dennis, that a buyer, might come in and actually want to take the project out totally?
Mark, it is absolutely a possibility. We are an investment company, so we would consider anything which we thought made sense for shareholders. We've had approaches previously, but I've felt very strongly that this is a great project. That if we can get it into production, it's a much different project rather than a hope. And so we haven't entertained those proposals up until now. Now that we're in production, we would think that, if we did get an offer, it would be at a sensible price. And again, we've removed the uncertainties, the nuclear regulator and all the rest of the things that we've removed. So yeah, it's a possibility, but it's not our first priority right now.
Okay. Well, the final comment that you made was, you said, I believe that Kazera is now in the best position that it has been in since I took the reins as CEO in 2021. So I'm looking forward to seeing, now you've got those regulatory hurdles out the way, you've removed those hurdles, to see some more significant news flow coming through with regards to production, sales, etc., and of course revenue generation. But I do have four questions that shareholders sent to us when we mentioned we were going to be interviewing you. So I'd like to just ask you. So the first question I have here is, what plans does the company have in regards to potential distribution of cash to shareholders in the event of A, Hebe debt collection, or B, what looks like to be prestigious cash flows to come from the HMS operations?
Mark, as I've said in lots of interviews before, we're not a bank. So I have no desire to be sitting on a great big pot of cash and nothing to do with it. So if we were sitting on a pot of cash, we would be either doing some sort of a deal in terms of paying a dividend or doing a share buyback, but getting it back to shareholders, or we would be doing a deal with it. We're not a bank, as I say. We don't need to sit on money.
Okay. The next question I have here asks, Trakata Limited have stakes in both Kazera and REE, which is Altona Rare Earths. Any alignment to be expected, or is this pure coincidence?
Pure coincidence.
Okay, good. The next one I have, Dennis, if the contract with Hebe is watertight, why are you not aggressively chasing them?
Yeah, a bit limited in terms of what I want to say about that right now, because obviously I don't want to compromise our position. It's not only our shareholders who look at our interviews, but the situation is that all the costs are being carried by Hebe. What we don't want is a situation where we take the mine back and we then carry those costs at the moment. That doesn't make sense. We've got other things to focus on, particularly the heavy mineral sands and the diamonds. And quite honestly, there are lots of ways of potentially resolving that. So that is, it's not something that worries us at the moment.
Okay, and the final question is a good question, very important question. I know you sort of alluded to it a little bit, but I'll just ask you directly, how quick can we now expect some cash revenues?
Well, I think we're going to be in production very, very shortly. Within the next, I would hope to be in proper production of unfettered production, if you like, of both diamonds and heavy mineral sands by the end of this month. Where we are now is, as I say, almost in a position where we can finalize deals with the various people who have expressed an interest in an offtake with us. And once that there is done, well, it depends very much on the deal. Some people will be prepared to pay cash at the mine gate to remove stuff. Other people will be looking for terms. Those are all the things we needed to weigh up. But we're now in a position where the shop is open effectively. The goods are on display, and it's a question of doing deals with the potential customers. It's such a big difference to where we've ever been before.
Okay. Excellent. Well, thank you very much for your time as always. Dennis Edmonds, the CEO of Kazera Global, and hopefully not too long before we're talking again.
Great. Thank you very much, Mark.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.